When I was 19 years old, working alongside my parents, I first encountered the challenge that many businesses face even nowadays. I needed a CRM system. As I began researching options, I stumbled upon this small company based in Estonia that had created what seemed like an incredibly simple and almost primitive tool. At a first glance, it appeared so basic that I couldn't quite understand its purpose or value. That company was Pipedrive, and today it serves 100,000 clients worldwide, has built a substantial following, and creates what I would call a truly unique software. What makes it unique is just how opinionated it is. On one hand, Pipedrive is a CRM system built with a very specific philosophy created by salespeople for salespeople. It's a system constructed around the founders' beliefs about how sales should work. They've even written a book explaining their approach to selling, defining what the sales process should look like and how deals should move through the pipeline. The entire system is built around this philosophy. This is simultaneously Pipedrive's greatest strength and its Achilles heel. It's both what makes the system exceptional and what creates certain limitations. If this system aligns with your process and your product, it might very well be the only CRM you will ever need in your business life. However, if it doesn't fit your approach, and you might not realize this immediately in the early stage of using the system, it could become quite a disappointing experience. For those new to my channel, I'm Jeff Tiley and I'm CRM consultant. In this review, I'll take you deep into Pipedrive to help you understand exactly what the system offers and whether it's right for your business. This video is not sponsored by Pipedrive. In fact, it has an actual sponsor, my company, Monthly. If you like the system after the review and would like to try it out, there is an affiliate link for a free trial in the description to this video below. After watching this review, you will understand what Pipedrive is and who it is designed for. I'll walk you through the user experience and what I call user adoption, how easy it is to get your team up and running. We will discuss product support, including documentation, community, and consultant availability. I'll provide a technical review examining the product from technical perspective, including data models and scalability considerations. We'll definitely cover pricing and total costs of ownership. Finally, I'll share my personal thoughts on this product, whether I would want to use it myself and what specifically caught my attention. Let's begin with understanding the company and how they position their product in the market. Now, Pipedrive is a sales-focused CRM platform founded in 2010 in Tallinn, Estonia, just a short drive from Riga, the city I was born. Pipedrive is built by a group of Estonian entrepreneurs and ex-people, and the company was born, as they say, out of frustration with the clunky CRMs that didn't reflect how they think sales teams actually work. Their solution was a visual, user-friendly pipeline tool designed to help salespeople stay organized, follow up consistently, and close more deals without getting buried in administrative work. Over the years, Pipedrive has expanded globally while maintaining its Eastern European roots and practical approach to sales. Now, today, Pipedrive serves over 100,000 companies worldwide, and while the product has evolved with features like workflow automation, email sync, and reporting, it still retains the same core idea: make selling simple, visual, and effective, which is a great time to answer, who is Pipedrive designed for? Now, Pipedrive is designed specifically for small companies with teams of 1 to probably 50 people. This is a sales-focused CRM built for B2B transactions or high-ticket sales that require active human involvement, like phone calls, emails, meetings, and direct customer interactions. What Pipedrive does exceptionally well is active sales management. On the other hand, where it lacks features is customer support or so-called account management. If you're a trading company wanting to track customer behaviors, monitor order patterns, or manage ongoing client relationships passively, this probably isn't your system. Pipedrive is purely focused on moving prospects through an active sales pipeline. The system excels for digital agencies, SaaS companies, and any business where client acquisition requires hand-on sales activity. They are actively implementing recurring products, which is a way of tracking subscriptions, which is giving us a clue of who their core customers are. Hence, it's probably SaaS companies. I can also see Pipedrive working as a complementary tool alongside larger systems like Salesforce, where Pipedrive handles the active sales process while primary system manages broader customer operations. Essentially, Pipedrive serves small active sales teams following structured, human-driven sales process. If that describes your business, this could be incredibly powerful system. If your process is more passive or complex, probably look elsewhere, which is a great time to cover probably the most important aspect of any software: its user interface. When you first enter Pipedrive as a new user, you're not immediately thrown into a Kanban board or feature set. Instead, you are greeted with an excellent onboarding checklist that walks you through exactly what needs to be done to implement the CRM system properly. Having gone through this entire process, I can confidently say this is one of the best designed customer onboarding experiences I've ever encountered. And it's not just a checkbox exercise, it's genuinely built by people who sat down and thought through what users actually need to successfully set up their CRM first time. Now, the core interface is built around a Kanban board system. It's cards representing deals organized by statuses in columns. This is a familiar, intuitive concept that requires no special training. Now, what impressed me most was Pipedrive's exceptional in-app guidance. They've strategically placed contextual help throughout the application, explaining specific functions and features exactly where you need them most. Now, each tooltip includes links to detailed documentation, and this educational system covers virtually every part of the CRM system. Now, another massively valuable feature, which is a great experience for users like myself, Pipedrive includes keyboard shortcuts. You navigate between tabs, create deals and tasks, and access different sections using simple key combinations. For example, keys 1 to 8 jump to corresponding navigation tabs. Key 9 opens additional menu section, and / activates global search. This shortcut system is phenomenally convenient for inside sales teams who spend their entire day working in CRM system. Now, another thing that I appreciated was the celebration animation when you close a won deal. Now, this might seem trivial, but in our increasingly digital work environment, these dopamine rewards for achievements are psychologically important and help maintain motivation. Which brings me to an important question: how hard or easy it is to implement Pipedrive? The onboarding experience sets you up for about 80% implementation completion, assuming your business aligns with Pipedrive's philosophy. The data import process particularly impressed me. They provide detailed Excel template where each field is thoroughly documented. Now, I tested this by having ChatGPT generate 200 sample records using their template, and the system imported everything perfectly without any modifications. What makes this exceptional is the intelligent data mapping feature. During import, you can match your existing data with Pipedrive fields and create custom fields on the fly. If your Excel file contains data that doesn't exist in Pipedrive, you can map or replace values in real time. This dramatically simplifies initial system setup, though it does encourage creating potentially excessive custom fields. One limitation I discovered: you cannot import products attached to deals. For businesses that need to import complex deal structures with multiple product lines, this requires manual entry or custom API work, which is a great time to cover mobile app. Pipedrive's mobile app represents a genuine mobile-first design rather than a desktop interface awkwardly adapted for smaller screens. This distinction becomes immediately apparent when you start using the application. Every interaction feels purposely designed for mobile workflows. For example, the call recognition feature exemplifies this thoughtful approach. When the app runs in the background and you make phone calls, it automatically detects these calls and prompts you to log. Take call recognition feature, for example. When the app runs in the background and you make phone calls, it automatically detects these calls and prompts you to log them when you return to the application. While testing on iPhone, I found it doesn't automatically identify who you called. This functionality might actually work better on Android devices, though I haven't tested that on Android. Regardless, the simple prompt to log call removes friction from activity tracking. Now, the Focus tab deserves particular attention as it perfectly embodies Pipedrive's sales philosophy. This displays all your scheduled activities in an easy, scannable format, reinforcing their core belief that successful sales requires consistent, planned actions. This isn't passive account management where you wait for customers to contact you. It's active sales management where every deal must have a next step and no prospect should go uncontacted. The green action button positioned at the bottom of the screen provides streamlined access to core functions like adding activities, deals, leads, notes, photos, voice messages, and file attachments. The voice message feature includes an intelligent 1-minute limit, a design decisions I wholeheartedly support. Frankly, I can't think of many business scenarios where voice messages longer than 1 minute are actually listed to or provide any value. It actually would be nice though if they would have added transcribation of voice memos, but they are not there. Now, email integration works reliably, but with some limitations. The app supports standard email clients like Apple Mail and Outlook seamlessly. However, I personally encountered issues with third-party email client like Spark. I personally use Spark. When attempting to send emails through Spark, the system generated error claiming no email client was installed when the actual issue was compatibility with non-standard email applications. This isn't necessarily a fault, but it's worth noting if your team uses alternative email clients. Now, the overall mobile philosophy reflects Pipedrive's opinionated design approach. The interface is exceptionally well crafted, almost frustratingly so because there is remarkably little to criticize from a usability standpoint. Everything feels intuitive, responsive, and purposeful. However, this excellence comes with rigid limitations. You cannot customize the mobile interface, add custom integrations, or modify workflows to match unique business processes. The mobile experience is exactly what Pipedrive designed, no more and no less. For businesses that fit their model perfectly, this creates an incredibly smooth experience, unless you need customizability, which is a great time to cover reports and analytics. Pipedrive's AI report assistant represents exactly how artificial intelligence should function in business software. You describe your reporting needs in natural language, and system asks clarifying questions when necessary, and then generates comprehensive report with appropriate filters and data visualization. After playing around a bit, it performs honestly remarkably well and will likely improve as you feed in more data over time. Now, the reporting system itself is very straightforward, logical, and user-friendly. Unlike some CRM systems that require complex integrations for data export, Pipedrive allows direct Excel exports with customizable field selection. However, there is a significant limitation in the lower pricing tiers. Custom field reporting is only available starting with the professional plan. This means if you are on essential or advanced plans and rely heavily on custom data collection, you cannot generate reports on that information. For businesses that depend on detailed reporting across custom fields, this restriction could become problematic and will force you to upgrade to another plan. The dashboard system allows you to combine multiple reports into very nice views. Goal setting is available, but relatively basic. You can set targets for deals, activities, and forecasts. While simple, these goal setting capabilities are perfectly adequate if your sales process, again, aligns with Pipedrive's philosophy and methodology. However, if you need complex gamification or sophisticated performance tracking beyond their standard metrics, you will need to develop a custom solution. Now, forecasting functionality provides sales predictions based on your Pipedrive data, though like the goal system, it follows Pipedrive's opinionated approach to sales management. For teams that fit their model, these forecasting tools provide valuable insights. For businesses with more complex or non-standard sales cycles, the forecasting may feel a bit restrictive. Now, overall, Pipedrive's reporting strikes an excellent balance between capabilities and simplicity, assuming your reporting needs align with their sales philosophy. The AI integration is genuinely helpful rather than gimmicky, and export capabilities ensure you are never locked into their reporting format, which naturally brings me to the product support section of this review. And let's start with user documentation, or in other words, resources available for end users and not technical people, those who'd use the system on a daily basis. And there actually is a thing to say. Pipedrive stand out in user education through their learning platform called Pipedrive Learn. Now, this is a resource center which features well-produced short videos that are professionally shot and edited, covering both system functionality and sales methodology. Beyond technical training, they provide education on sales concepts, pipeline stage development, and best practices, which is really nice. The educational content reflects Pipedrive's philosophy-driven approach. They don't just teach you how to use their software, but how to think about sales processes. While the course library isn't extensive, I literally found like 9 courses or something, it's highly focused on quality rather than quantity. The content includes sales best practices, leadership training materials, and email marketing fundamentals, which is nice. Everything is practical and directly applicable. I particularly appreciate that they've done significant work with explaining sales concept that I often have to teach my own clients. Please accept my apologies, Pipedrive, but I'm taking some of your ideas and incorporating in my content. Really, great job done here. Now, let's talk about technical documentation. And it is comprehensive, detailed, and well-structured. It thoroughly explains the platform architecture, functionality, and limitations. For developers and technical users, Pipedrive provides clear API documentation with proper examples and use cases. One standout feature is their approach to API rate limiting. Instead of implementing complex rate limits, they use an API token system that tracks your usage, which is more intuitive for developers to understand and manage. The technical documentation clearly explains these systems and provides practical guidance for implementation. Now, let's talk about the community. The community situation is honestly quite ambiguous, and I'm not even sure what to say about it. On one hand, there is a community. In fact, there is even an official community forum. On the other hand, starting July 1st, 2025, and I'm not exactly sure when this video gonna be released, though I suspect it might come out right around when this forum closes. So Pipedrive is shutting down their official community forum as of July 1st, 2025. However, the entire community seems to be migrating to Reddit, where they've recently created a dedicated subreddit for this transition. So there is this strange situation where a community exists, but it's in flux. I really hope they don't completely shut down the forum and that it remains searchable, because there is some valuable historical content there. Now, I understand why they are closing it, because the platform they've used for a community is really, really bad. The forum's built-in search functionality is terrible. I tried finding some information and it barely works. But you can always use Google Sites search tricks to find relevant discussions and answers on the forum. There is an active community of people working with Pipedrive, answering common questions and discussing problems. I also noticed on the forum that Pipedrive hasn't escaped the common problem affecting all commercial venture-baked companies. Long-standing user requests for simple, basic functionality get ignored while they implement AI tools that half of the users don't need but generate hype and attract investor attention. This is probably inevitable path for any large companies with significant investor involvement and board of directors. Unfortunately, this tension is unavoidable. Nevertheless, the community exists, it's active, and the fact that people complain and argue with Pipedrive representatives shows there is no censorship, which is actually excellent, which is a great time to talk about customer support. Now, Pipedrive provides above-average customer support, significantly better than industry standards. Response times are reasonable and they demonstrate genuine problem-solving engagement rather than just ticket resolution. Based on my interactions with their technical support and general internet feedback, their support quality is considered good. However, support quality and availability vary significantly by pricing tier. This is clearly outlined on their pricing page. Lower tier plans receive limited support channels and longer response times. Higher tier plans gain access to additional communication channels, including phone support, which can dramatically speed up issue resolution. The tiered support approach is transparent, but creates real limitations for smaller businesses on an entry-level plans. If you are on a basic plan, expect longer response times and fewer support options. For businesses on professional or enterprise plans, the support experience includes direct phone access and faster resolution times. Which brings me to the technical part of my review. And let's start with out-of-the-box integrations. Pipedrive offers a substantial number of integrations, which is over 400 in total. While many of the available connections work well for standard use cases, some critical integrations have notable limitations that frustrate advanced users. One frequently cited issue involves the QuickBooks integration. While it might seem like a native or tightly connected product because it's written by Pipedrive on it, which is very misleading, it's important to clarify that QuickBooks is owned by Intuit, not Pipedrive. Despite this, Pipedrive does offer a native integration with QuickBooks for handling invoicing, quoting, and billing workflows. Unfortunately, this integration receives constantly mixed reviews, averaging around 3 stars on the Pipedrive marketplace. Users often complain about reliability issues and limited functionality, particularly around syncing invoice statuses or supporting more complex accounting scenarios. This is especially problematic because the integration supports product synchronization. When products are added to deals in Pipedrive, they can transfer directly to invoices, enabling streamlined analytics and accounting. For businesses managing multiple product categories with different accounting rules, this automation could dramatically reduce administration time. That's why the lack of polish in such a strategic integration is both surprising and disappointing. The Zapier integration also receives regular criticism. While I'm not personally a Zapier enthusiast, many users rely on it to connect Pipedrive with other platforms. Unfortunately, Pipedrive's Zapier module don't fully expose the platform's API capabilities, limiting what can be done without manual workarounds. By contrast, the Make.com integration performs better. As an active Make.com user, I find the available Pipedrive modules well-structured and pretty diverse. However, like Zapier, upon checking, they still don't expose the full API surface area. For advanced users trying to build complex automations, this can be frustrating, but for the majority of use cases, should be more than sufficient. Now, that said, for most small and mid-sized businesses, Pipedrive's integration ecosystem gets the job done. If you need niche or highly specialized workflows, direct API calls via Postman or custom HTTP modules in Make.com remain a viable option. While not perfect, the overall system still aligns well with Pipedrive's no-code ethos and remain functional for the majority of use cases, which is a great time to cover scalability of Pipedrive. Now, scalability is when a system can grow along with your company. To understand Pipedrive's scalability limitations, you need to understand their fundamental philosophy. Now, please allow for a short explanation here. Software broadly falls into two categories: opinionated and unopinionated systems. Opinionated software is built around specific methodologies and workflows. The developers essentially say, we believe this is the right way to do things, so we have built software to enforce this approach. These systems typically feature exceptional user interface with minimal configuration options, but they excel at their intended purpose. Now, on the other hand, unopinionated software provides tools and customization options, letting users build whatever they need. These systems offer flexibility, but require significant setup time and often lack the polish of focused solutions. Now, Pipedrive is definitely opinionated software. They literally written a 49-page book describing how they believe sales should work, and their entire system enforces this methodology. Within their philosophy, they have created an exceptional product with outstanding user experience. However, as I have already said multiple times, this becomes a problem when you need to deviate from their prescribed approach. Pipedrive offers limited core objects like deals, contacts, which actually include people and organizations, activities, products, leads, projects, and other supporting micro objects. Their documentation includes well-designed data model diagrams that clearly show these relationships. The scalability challenge isn't technical capability. It's functional limitation. As your business grows and develops more complex processes, you will likely need more capabilities beyond Pipedrive's scope. The system won't grow with you in terms of expanding functionality, though it performs excellently within its defined boundaries. Now, I'm curious about performance with the large data sets, given what I observe about their technology stack, but I haven't tested this extensively, so I don't have an opinion here. If you work with high record volumes, I'd be interested to hear about performance in the comments below. Now, from a business perspective, you should expect to eventually outgrow Pipedrive's functional scope, but within its intended use case, it will continue performing exceptionally well. Now, at this point, I should briefly touch an important aspect of this kind of software: security and compliance. And it is well handled. As a European company, Pipedrive maintains strong compliance standards from the ground up. Enterprise tier plans include advanced security configurations, which is an excellent thing for larger organizations with specific security requirements. The European origin provides inherent GDPR compliance advantages, and their enterprise features demonstrate serious attention to business security need. For most businesses, their security and compliance posture will be more than adequate. Finally, let's talk about product quality. From a pure quality standpoint, I would rate this product 10 out of 10. I encountered no bugs, no significant performance issues, and no major usability problems during extensive testing. Occasionally, there might be minor interface lags, but nothing noteworthy. The interface design is exceptionally thoughtful, the documentation is comprehensive, and the onboarding experience is really outstanding. Within their defined philosophy and scope, the software is remarkably well executed. I would even call the quality exceptional rather than merely good. The team clearly invested significant effort in creating a polished, professional product. Again, in the context of their intended use case and target market, the execution is virtually flawless. This level of attention to detail and user experience is rare in business software and deserves recognition. The only quality issues stem from philosophical misalignment rather than execution problems. If Pipedrive fits your business model, you're looking to an exceptionally well-crafted tool. Now, at this point, you may be asking, what about pricing? Pipedrive offers 5 main pricing tiers, plus several add-ons including Lead Booster, Web Visitor, Campaigns, Smart Doc, and Projects, and some other add-ons available inside the system. Projects are included in the price for the top 2 tiers, while other add-ons require separate purchases. I won't publish specific prices since they vary by region and change with inflation, but I'll discuss the structural approach to their pricing model. The Essential plan serves as an entry-level tier, but it has a critical limitation: no email integration, and in my opinion, a CRM without email integration isn't really a CRM system. Now, you're limited with 1,000 records, which isn't substantial for active sales operations. If you need basic lead tracking, Excel actually may be better and more practical than this tier. Next, the Advanced plan represents the first truly usable option, introducing two-way email integration, email templates, mail merge functionality, and call tracking. This plan supports 3,000 records and includes basic automation capabilities. You can also set up recurring billing for subscription products. However, 3,000 records still isn't substantial for active sales organizations, especially in B2C markets. The Professional plan adds multi-email account connections, AI-powered email composition, custom dashboards, sales forecasting, and custom permissions. Most importantly, this is where custom field reporting becomes available. The Professional tier also increases record limits significantly. Now, a word about their AI email feature. It integrates with OpenAI to help you compose messages using ChatGPT, essentially. While this is convenient, I personally prefer creating custom templates directly in ChatGPT and copying content as needed, because the built-in integration feels less flexible than working directly with the AI tool. Next, Power and Enterprise tiers primarily offer increased record limits, phone support, and enhanced security features. Enterprise includes sandbox environment for developers and unlimited record storage, plus projects functionality is bundled into the price of both. The pricing structure reveals an important insight. The genuinely functional starting point is the Advanced plan for basic operations, or Professional if you need comprehensive reporting on custom fields. The Essential plan feels more like a trial tier than a production solution, which is a great time to discuss indirect costs of Pipedrive, or in other words, cost of ownership. Now, total cost of ownership is remarkably low, but this assessment depends heavily on your personal situation and expertise level. If you are actively engaged in sales with an established customer pipeline and you understand your CRM needs, Pipedrive represents an excellent value. The system requires minimal ongoing maintenance and doesn't need dedicated administrative staff, and can be managed by a sales manager or even basic IT support for tasks like data migration or system updates. The simple user interface eliminates the need for expensive consultants or extensive training programs. For a business that fits Pipedrive's methodology, paying $50–$60 per user monthly, which is the approximate price, provides substantial value compared to the productivity gains and deal tracking capabilities you will receive. However, if you are just starting out, experimenting with CRM systems, or uncertain whether you need these capabilities, the cost becomes expensive quickly. For a team of 10–15 people who aren't fully committed to using the system, you're essentially paying for unused functionality. The cost equation also changes if your business doesn't align with Pipedrive's philosophy. If you need additional tools to handle processes that Pipedrive doesn't support, you are adding complexity and expense that could make alternative solutions more cost-effective. In ideal circumstances, where you understand your needs, your process fits their methodology, and your team will actively use the system, Pipedrive offers exceptional cost efficiency. The total ownership cost remains low because the system doesn't require ongoing customization and complex administration or supplementary tools. For businesses operating within Pipedrive's intended use case, the combination of low implementation costs, minimal maintenance requirements, and high user adoption creates outstanding return on investment. The system pays for itself through improved sales organization and deal tracking rather than requiring additional investment in training, customization, or support systems. Which brings me to a very important question. Would I want to use the system myself? And I have a very clear and straightforward answer for this question. Yes, I would absolutely want to use this CRM, but only if it aligned with my business process. Now, in my current situation as a consultant running a company that sells Salesforce implementation services, Pipedrive would actually fit exceptionally well. We're selling digital services with a very clear activity-based sales process that requires actively moving people through defined steps. There is a structured methodology to our sales approach, and we need to maintain consistent communication with prospects throughout the engagement process. What I find really compelling about Pipedrive is the workflow optimization they have built into every aspect of the system. If activity-based selling fits your sales methodology, where success depends on consistent, planned actions and moving deals through defined stages, this is quite possibly the ideal system. I would genuinely tell you to stop looking elsewhere. The philosophy alignment is crucial here. If your sales process involves active prospecting, regular follow-ups, scheduled calls, and moving deals through this clear pipeline stages, Pipedrive's opinionated approach becomes a massive advantage rather than limitation. The system enforces good sales discipline while making those activities as efficient as possible. However, there is a catch. The moment your business needs to start deviating from their core philosophy, the limitation becomes apparent very, very quickly. If you need digital self-service portals, for example, complex user administration, e-commerce integration with order tracking, custom pricing calculations like CPQ solutions, approval workflows, or customer support functionality, forget about Pipedrive. It simply won't work for those use cases. However, I often see Pipedrive used successfully as a complementary tool alongside larger platforms like Salesforce or Microsoft Dynamics, God forbid. In these configurations, the primary platform handles customer support, account management, and complex business processes, while Pipedrive focuses exclusively on the active sales pipeline and prospecting activities. This complementary approach makes perfect sense because Pipedrive excels at exactly one thing: managing active sales processes with human-driven activities. When businesses try to force it beyond the scope, both the system and the users become frustrated. What impressed me most about this review process was discovering just how thoughtfully designed Pipedrive is within their chosen scope. The user interface optimizations, the workflow enhancement, the keyboard shortcuts, the mobile experience, and also there is really unique feature which is called contact pipeline, where you can see all your contacts on a pipeline and you can tell when did you contact that particular person. It's really, really useful feature. Everything demonstrates deep understanding of how salespeople actually work day to day. This isn't software built by developers who think they understand sales. It's software built by salespeople who have actually lived in sales environments. The documentation, the onboarding, the educational content, all of it reflects genuine expertise in sales methodology, not just software development. They've created a system that enforces best practices while making those practices as efficient as possible to execute. My final assessment is Pipedrive represents exceptional software for a specific use case. It's remarkably well designed, thoroughly documented, and built around a clearly articulated philosophy that they openly share. Within the boundaries of what it's designed to do, it performs brilliantly. But step slightly outside those boundaries, and you will discover those same philosophical strengths become rigid limitations. The system that makes you incredibly efficient at activity-based selling becomes an obstacle when you need different capabilities. So my recommendation is simple. If Pipedrive's philosophy matches your sales process, implement it immediately and don't look back. If you need flexibility beyond their model, acknowledge what they do well, but look for solutions that accommodate your broader requirements. On that note, thanks for watching and being subscribed. You are subscribed, right? If you want to hire me, a link in the description below. Tell me in the comments down below, what CRM system do you use? And do you use Pipedrive? If you have ever used it, did you like it or not? Maybe I have missed something in this video. Let me know in the comments down below, and let's engage in conversation. On that note, see you next time. Peace.